Hey guys, it's Morgan here with another video, and Rosie's just gonna be back here snoring, so if you hear snoring noises, ignore it. So I saw my psychiatrist for the first time in a while, a few days ago, January 31st, and I'm kind of in one of those hypomanic episodes right now. So I hadn't been sleeping very well. I'd been just staying up late just because my mind's like, whoo! And I totally just made the hand motion for crazy, but that's pretty much what it was. It was crazy. My mind was crazy and it was fast. And you know what? When you're hypomanic, you just don't want to sleep sometimes. Like, nighttime makes up half of all time, so why would I want to waste it sleeping? Unfortunately, I did learn in my physiological psychology class that you actually can die from a lack of sleep. I used to think that you couldn't, just because nothing in your body like shuts down because you're not sleeping, but they did studies on animals, which, like, I'm vegan, so I just want to put a disclaimer that I am very, very against the idea of animal testing. But they did unfortunately test this on animals. They deprived some sort of rodent. I can't remember if it was mice or rats. It's probably rats. Are you satisfied? I don't know if you could hear her moaning. She just scratched herself. Okay, so we're gonna go with rats. They deprived rats of sleep, and besides all the mood symptoms that you get with not sleeping, like irritability and just tiredness, their lungs turned black and they died. And I think it wasn't just their lungs, I think it was all their organs actually. So yeah, no sleep equals black organs and death. So that was my fun little tangent before I get into the topic I wanted to talk about today. So when I went to see my psychiatrist, they take my pulse every time I go there, and I've seen it get pretty high. It's gotten into like the 130s. But you know, that's, you know, to be expected considering I have social anxiety. And that's one of the reasons I really wanted to get back. I don't know if I told you guys, I wanted to get back on my propranolol medication, which is a beta blocker, so it keeps my heart rate from getting too high. So I talked to her about that, and I got that medication back. And she's adding like that one in addition to the Valium that I'm taking instead of the Valium, which is what I was actually expecting. But, you know, whatever, I'll take it, I guess. And besides my anxiety medication, the other thing we talked about was this hypomanic state that I had been in. And so she tried to give me a totally different mood stabilizer that, it must be pretty new because it does not have a generic form, and as a result, it's really, really expensive. Like, I can't afford it expensive, so I told them that, and so they raised the dosage of my Zyprexa, which is the mood stabilizer / antipsychotic that I was already on, to 7.5 milligrams. So we talked about that, and then kind of towards the end she goes, "No, I have a question for you, and I need you to really think about this before you answer." And I'm like, in my head, thinking, what? What is about to happen? What on earth can she possibly have to ask me? And she asks me, "What makes you so nervous about coming here?" Okay, so they know I'm nervous because they take my pulse, right? Although that time I had gotten it down into the 90s, so I was actually pretty proud of myself for staying calm. That's calm for me in a social situation. And I think my just naturally quiet demeanor, I'm not a very loud, chatty person, although sometimes when I do get into those hypomanic episodes, the chattiness level tends to go up. But I'm not a loud, outspoken person, really. Yeah, same. So I think she takes that for my anxiety, and it's like, maybe that is part of my anxiety, but I think that is just my personality. I am just a quiet person. And as far as why I'm anxious, I have an anxiety disorder. There's not like some deep reason behind that. She asked if she was scary, and she's definitely not scary. She's actually super nice, and I'm like extremely grateful that I found her. And like when people ask me about psychiatrists, I will recommend her. So it's nothing to do with her, it's just I have an anxiety disorder, okay? And I think part of it's also white coat syndrome, though I don't know if I've ever seen her wearing a white coat. That's just what they call doctor anxiety. So yeah, but I'm being put in this social situation. My anxiety is naturally going to go up a little bit, and I think the reason CBT did not work very well for me is because my anxiety disorder doesn't really look for a reason to say, oh, you have to be anxious about this. It's more like it just presses a panic button. It's kind of like it sets off the fire alarm inside my brain and sends everything into panic mode. And that's the problem I had with cognitive behavioral therapy. I was always being asked to like identify the thought that was making me anxious, and sometimes there's no thought, can't speak. Sometimes there is no thought. There's just anxiety, and you can't explain it. And if you can't explain it, you can't logic it away, so you're just kind of stuck with it. So if I'm sitting there, I'm going through everything in my head, all the reasons why I shouldn't be anxious, knowing, just deep down knowing everything's going to be okay, and I'm still anxious, that's just not going to change. My anxiety, I just don't think is something that's going to be just completely cured all the way. It's just something that with DBT I am learning how to manage, and with still can't speak. With my medication, I am definitely getting a much better grip on it. But kind of like what Forrest Gump says, anxiety happens, and it's just going to, and that's just something I've come to radically accept. Using my DBT skill. You are snoring, but your eyes are open. Using my DBT skill of radical acceptance, like, I accept that I'm going to have anxiety. I accept that I'm probably going to have anxiety for the rest of my life. And I'm absolutely terrified at the prospect of giving birth. Like, I might not be able to be on my anxiety meds while pregnant and then while breastfeeding, or my bipolar meds. So that's definitely going to be an adventure. So basically what I'm just trying to get at is it's okay to be anxious and not have a reason. Like, that doesn't make you any less or worse or weaker of a person just because you get random bursts of anxiety. It's just gonna happen. Anxiety happens. That's what I'm gonna call this video. Ugh. I'm gonna make a video one of these days about physical symptoms of anxiety and talk to you about my chronic back pain. It's gonna be fun. So yeah, look for that one in the future. That'll probably be the next video I make, unless something happens, like my psychiatrist asking me what I was so nervous about, and I get inspired to make a completely different video. So yeah, I appreciate all your thumbs ups and comments. And I keep forgetting to say this. Thank you for 100 subscribers. I am like so grateful for all of you. I think it's amazing that even like one person wants to hear what I have to say, much less like 113 of y'all. Like, wow. I don't know. That's just crazy to me. So yes, thank you from the bottom of my heart, because that saying isn't overused at all. And Rosie says thank you too. She likes attention, huh? She's really sleepy this late at night, but she loves attention. So if you like my video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down in the comments. If you have a question, do not message me on here. Leave it in the comments or message me on one of my social media apps. I'll leave all my handles down in the description. And again, just thank you for watching. You rock. You're awesome. Alright, signing out.